Hey, welcome back. We're here with Jason Vandenberghe, the creative director on Ubisoft's For Honor.
Yeah, this was just announced the other day at the press conferences.
I know, right?
Super exciting. How much did your heart go like, pat, 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 right when you're getting ready to announce something you've been working for years on?
backstage, and running the trailer, right? Running the trailer, and I'm like, don't pass out, don't pass out, don't pass out. I didn't pass out.
You didn't, and also I would like to say I think you're the man having the best E3. Just talking to you, it's day 3. Everybody's kind of wandering around zombie mode, and you are ready to rock.
Well, look at this guy. He makes us all look bad.
He does.
How many coffees did you drink? Be honest.
It is all the coffee. So
that's why I couldn't get one.
That's my secret. But this game is the game I've wanted to make for my entire life. So.
You called this your bucket list game.
Hell yes. This is the one. This is it. This is what I wanted to do. And the fact that I'm here and showing it off is just incredible. So.
You know, we should probably explain a little bit about what this game is.
Yeah, the game. For Honor is a game where we're trying to put a sword in your hand, put you in the middle of a battlefield, and then give you a bunch of tools to let you like team up with your friends or like team up against them if you want to do that, and then win the day on that sort of visceral battlefield. So it's all about rah, smash, smash, and it's also a game where we're asking you, might you be a Viking? Might you be a samurai? Might you be a knight? Which one would you take, right? That sort of thing. So it's really about
definitely Viking.
A whole new way to fight with weapons, and just getting you that visceral experience on the battlefield.
So I'm curious, if this is surely you have some kind of scary weapon collection. What does your basement look like? Is it like the basement from Pulp Fiction?
Why does it have to be a basement, Lawrence?
Exactly. So I've moved enough that I've had to make a series of like choices, right, over the years. So now I'm just like down to like the 5 or 6 really good ones.
Oh, so wait, what other people do for their DVD collection, you do for your weapons collection?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the deal. Yeah.
This is the single game that I keep hearing about from people on the floor that was the biggest surprise of E3. I was just saying before we came on here to you that I don't think there was another game I hadn't heard of that was announced at a press conference. You didn't have a major leak or anything come out. You actually managed to surprise people, which is so rare at E3 nowadays.
Yes, mission accomplished.
Yeah, but people keep talking about how fun this is, how visceral the experience is, and just how the replayability of wanting to do it again and again and again.
Yes, cool. That's the whole point, right? And we really thought with this new mechanic, with the way that we're fighting with this fantasy, we kind of had to show up with it fully functional, right? It's a game that when we try to explain it to you, right, it's a new thing. And the trick with a new thing is I can't really compare it to other stuff, right? But it really is easy to play. But are you going to believe me if I tell you that, right? I don't know.
Maybe.
I wouldn't.
So for the sake of the audience at home, could you just give us the broad strokes of how the game actually plays? I mean, we saw the demo. We saw a bunch of AI dudes running around. You can just murder them. When you get to enemy players, that seems to be a little more in-depth.
It's not murder if it's war.
It's absolutely murder.
It's justified.
But that doesn't make it bad. Yeah, it's justified.
It's good murder.
It's okay. Yeah, sure. So the layout on the controller works like this. It's third-person game, so you're driving around with the left stick, right? Your right stick's controlling your camera. Pretty straightforward. Running around the battlefield, you see someone we want to fight. We're gonna fight. Hoo-yah! So I lock on. I use the left trigger, right? So left trigger comes in, bang. Now we're locked, and I'm in guard mode. So now I've got my weapon out, and my sword becomes my shield, right? So I've got 3 stances. My right stick is controlling my stances, left, right, and top. Exactly, like this. And then, so wherever I'm holding my sword, that's where I'm blocking. So if I'm holding top and you attack me, top, ting, auto block, right? Cool. Right. But if you attack me on the sides where I'm open, oof, blood.
These microphones are way more illustrative than I would have thought.
They're a great weapon. They're really like,
a real sword would probably.
That's like the 6th time you've managed to do that this E3.
That's gonna be on my calling card.
That's right.
I'm gonna get a microphone tattooed right here.
Perfect. So then we're up. So when we're guarding, now I've got the 2 shoulder buttons for heavy attack, and I'm going to attack you in the position that I'm holding the stick. So.
Okay. Okay.
So if a
little cat and mouse then.
Yeah, a little cat and mouse, exactly. So we're fighting. You're looking at my stance, and you know where I can attack you. If I'm holding it up here, or if I'm holding it to the right, you know where that sword's going to come in if I attack. But you also know where I'm open. So you've got to decide: do you want to attack me, or do you want to try and defend against the action? And what we're doing there is we've created the loop of emotion that that I feel that when you're on a real battlefield, which is that I care very much about where you're holding your weapon. It really matters a lot to me in my face, right?
One of the things that I noticed in a gameplay session was that, first of all, spamming just doesn't work. Just don't do it. But also is that if you block at the right time, you're able to parry.
Yes.
So it's not just block. There's also a timing element in addition to having it in the right place at the right time, right?
Yes. Yeah. So if you've really anticipated well and you've got that block out there in a good time, you're going to block and your opponent's going to bounce off a little bit, and the timing there gives you enough space that if you quickly move and attack, you'll take back the initiative, right?
So we got some pre-alpha footage right now.
Here we go.
Which is really impressive because it's already running at a decent frame rate, which is kind of unheard of for pre-alpha.
Yes.
But it looks like we can start to understand some things about the match itself from just the overlay. We got some point counters in the upper left.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you could, if maybe you're a little hesitant about attacking other players, you can just hang back and murder waves of. Engage waves of AI
soldiers
enemies
on the field.
Is that a viable strategy?
Take them for tea.
Exactly.
One of the things I think that we're seeing here that's really interesting is because this is 2-player characters is a lot of backing up, a lot of nervousness. You don't want to just jump in and attack. And actually talking to people who've played the game, that is what they illustrate to me is this, you think you're going to go in, guns blazing, and just slice up everybody you encounter, but really there's a lot of nervousness I might leave myself open, I might be vulnerable, and it's very cerebral, this game.
It can be, of course, if you also just feel like jumping in there and swinging. Depending on how your opponent handles that can sometimes work too, right? If they're just not paying attention to their defense, go for it.
Plus, sometimes, if you just want to mow through a bunch of people, all those minions, I guess, just the normal soldiers, whatever, you just mow through them. That's very satisfying.
Exactly, and that's you can see here on the match that we're playing. So, like you were saying, we're playing Dominion, right? This is our take on domination, right? So the score in the top there, you're earning points and trying to get to 1,000 points, and you can do that by, of course, you can killing other players, or assisting them back to the respawn point, and also by taking out the soldiers in the front line there. But you also can take points by capturing the capture points themselves. So A, B, and C, if you're holding those, you'll get a big score boost. So on the score bar there, you can see the sort of the faded out version of the score bar.
Brutal.
Those are points you get for actually holding on to those capture points. And so now you can see here, we've actually gotten to a place where everyone's over 1,000 points. We're in what we call breaking. Now both enemies are about to flee the battlefield, right? So if you reach 1,000 points, you push the enemy team into breaking, and now they can't respawn.
Oh, okay. So once you're out, single elimination.
Hunt them down, mow them down. But if you're in breaking, what you can do is you can go and take back one of those capture points and take points away from the enemy team, and you can escape. You can rally and come back. So the end of this Dominion mode has a lot of sort of back and forth, right, where you're losing and then you're winning, then you're losing and then you're winning, that kind of thing.
We're starting to see this game mode a lot. It's very MOBA-esque. I think that Bernie and I were actually arguing this morning, is this the perfect type of game that we're going to see every game move toward?
the Uber game.
Right, where you just see that everything gravitates toward this, because it is a very intriguing style of play. You can play it a lot of different ways, and it encourages a lot of different people to play the game.
So if you're telling me that For Honor is the Uber game, I'm down. I'm okay with that. I'll take that as a quote. It's beautiful.
Put that on the cover.
Exactly.
That's your full
I'll put that
quote.
right on the front of the box. It's fine.
The Uber game. Make sure.
And what we're seeing in this gameplay is one type of the knight faction, but there are multiple types of knights, and there are multiple factions. So you mentioned the Vikings, you mentioned the samurai, and then there are variations within each of those as well, right?
Absolutely. So each faction has several heroes within it. We brought the Warden here. This is our first one. The Warden is a longsword fighter with heavy armor, right, or sort of medium armor, right? And you'll be able to customize your Warden. You can think of them as like a type of soldier, right? And then you make your own version of that. You can customize them to a certain extent, but you'll never change their weapon type. They'll always fight with a longsword. So when you see a Warden coming towards you, you know what to expect, right? You know that's how they fight. But then we'll have other heroes. You saw in our stage demo, the Oni is our first samurai, right? Fights with a katana, much faster, a lot lighter, based on movement, right? Less defensive, harder to block, more about dodge, and a little bit more lethal, because when that katana makes fast. So that's an example of the variation. We're going to have a lot more to come.
I saw that some of these maps have interior hallways and things like that.
Yes.
Will your weapon hit the wall? So you can, if maybe your right side's against the wall, you just have to worry about blocking up and to the left?
That's why they're there.
Okay,
That's
so
the whole
there's a big
point
positional element to it then.
Absolutely. So, in fact, because one of the big questions and one of the challenges we face is, I get it, 1v1, this duel is great, right? 2v1, what do I do, right? I'm in trouble, right? Find a door. Find a door, because you can back up, and now you're down to 1v1 twice in a row, right? It works out really well.
I wish I'd known that earlier.
Tricks of the trade, lot to learn. And so it's really exciting, because to me, I feel like we've been playing this game for a long time on the team. We kind of have a melee game where level geometry matters as much as it does in a shooter. And that's really cool, right? Like, that's awesome. Usually we play melee games out in an open arena, right? And this one, we're like, no, man. The geometry is a big part of the gameplay and the strategy. And so you're going to see players who are getting to know the maps, finding places where there are cliffs, where I can grab you and throw you off a cliff, which is an amazing experience, right? And using the space as a tactical advantage.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
It's my pleasure.
I think that's it for For Honor, but I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of it in the future.
Absolutely.
Turns out putting swords through men is something that human beings have enjoyed for centuries.
Fun.